Welcome to Montreal, Canada for Season 7 of one of the most exclusive tournaments in poker. One league, 6 heats, and 12 players, all with one goal, to make it to the final table of the Party Poker Premier League. Welcome to Montreal, where the Premier League is in town. The stakes are high at the Playground Poker Club. The aim is to earn a seat at the final table. Each player plays 4 heats to amass as many points as possible in the league stage. The top 4 gain automatic promotion. The 4 runners-up clash heads-up in the playoffs for the final 2 spots. Points mean prizes here at the Premier League.
This is not normal poker. This is like fun, style, points, like this and that. I'm 100%.
Wow, you're so sick. Makes me so mad.
It's like unreal.
Sick.
Are you kidding me?
Premier League stuff is sick, bro.
The Premier League is a unique format that always throws up some surprises and always features the biggest names in the game. Season 7 is no different. Last time, Heat 1 played out and got the league stages off to a flying start. Jesse May reminds us of how it unfolded.
Our first 8 players arrived at the Playground Poker Club, but only one would win all the chips and take maximum points to top the league.
Try my best and I'll get back at it.
If you don't flop it, it's done.
That's a good flop.
It's like unreal.
How do I get out of this place?
Good luck, boys and girls.
I lost a bunch of hands that I was all in, and that's just how it goes.
What the insane.
A sick feeling just rushed through my body, and I just had a bad feeling about this, and then boop, the 10.
You can play your way to the win.
I haven't done that in a while, let me tell you.
Probably played mostly well.
Okay.
That's a fair fight. So that's that. I feel like that's that.
Great game, man. Played really good.
Jeff Gross, on his debut in the Premier League, takes down Heat 1 as his tight is right strategy leads him to top points. Now in Heat 2, Jungleman, Scott Seiver, and Brian Rast return, and points are a must for the bottom 2 to keep their dreams alive here in Montreal.
Dan is the current champion of the Premier League, hoping to take a second title in a row. How are you feeling going into your first heat?
You know what? This year I actually feel a little pressure. Last year I felt like I had nothing to lose, didn't expect anything. So after winning last year, I feel a little pressure on myself. I'm going to keep the same, strategy as last year, which we all know is to just try to get top 3 each round. And hopefully I'll get the same result. But I don't like the feeling of pressure, but I'm used to it, so I'm ready.
Everyone always watches the current champion, and we're going to be watching you. Good luck.
Well, hopefully I'll be right back up there.
Heat 2 is going to kick off, and you can't do any better than Jeff Gross did winning Heat 1. Jeff, it was your Premier League debut. Was it everything you expected, or did something about the format surprise you?
Yeah, I think the format I had done some studying, watched last season, a couple other seasons, just seeing how strategy-wise what I wanted to do, and it didn't really surprise me much, and I tried to treat it like a sit-and-go, playing very tight, as Phil Laak, I think, would say, a little too tight.
It seems like tight is right, but what about for the 4 guys coming back today for Heat 2 that had bad scores at Heat 1? You got Phil Laak, you got Brian Rast. They could be in trouble.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the most interesting to see is Scott Seiver and even Jason Koon, who was pretty unlucky 2 times with having 4-1 leads. These guys need points, Rast in particular. So it's going to be interesting to see if they tighten up or if they put the pedal to the floor. Scott, I just don't see those guys just sitting back. So I think there's going to be some interesting action, and definitely very important result, obviously, for the bottom finishers in this coming heat.
It's Premier League. Tactics come into play starting right now.
If Jesse and Jeff Gross are correct, then we have another mouth-watering game in store for us. So without further ado, let's get those cards in the air for the second heat of the Party Poker Premier League.
Each heat of this Premier League will have a different feel, not just because of the point structure, of course, which will dictate a lot of the tactical decisions, but the makeup of each heat, slightly different seats, slightly different personalities, and while the first heat maybe seemed like a little staid and solid, this feels like hyper-aggressive. You've got Vanessa Selbst there.
10 of hearts explode.
She is undoubtedly the most aggressive, successful poker player on the circuit today, and it's going to be quite exciting to watch her in action, especially sitting on the left of Jonathan Duhamel, who is not shy with the old left arm himself.
Fold.
Very interesting to see how Brian Rast and Scott Seiver do. Rast, of course, with only 1 point, and Scott Seiver getting the bagel. Classical strategy would probably dictate that those guys play quite tight to try and ensure they get some points.
No rebate. Full check.
Seat 6 call, 5,000.
No rebate. I put this in knowing that it wasn't 400 or 4, whatever that number is, thousands.
It is really the biggest weapon you have if you're Scott Seiver and you know that Jungleman is going to be aggressive on your left. You say, well, listen, I'm not going to be able to have the weapons to stop him. Let me try and convince Phil Laak
Ace of diamonds exposed.
Seat 3
to do the same. And well, that's a pretty loose call by Laak there on the button.
Seat 6 check.
Strong. It could be strong. Was it strong? Jungle?
It's fine. Good check.
Seat 3 check.
No, I did not say check.
That's
That's infuriating. I'm going to
Don't worry, I know
fine.
Don't say that's. Calm down. You have some anger in here. Why should you get mad?
I should get mad because like this stuff happened to me all day yesterday, and I obviously did not mean to check.
Yeah, and that's why the action's on you.
You probably shouldn't even remotely use that word when the action's on you.
I think that's a good way to look at it, yeah.
Of course, and you should not talk to me that way.
I should talk to you that way, actually, because you're a raging douchebag.
And I
You are a
think
raging
temper's
douchebag.
flaring right now.
Why is that? Because you're incredibly arrogant.
Make sure it's going, right?
I guess I have to fold. I mean, he would never have that conversation.
God, where's Antonio?
In both of the last 2 seasons of the Premier League, Scott Seiver, Jungleman, they did have a little bit of a repartee going on. It got a little bit heated in season 6. And then last night, the first heat, they were both on best behavior. It was all smiles. Well, the gloves are off. And fantastic, because the Jungleman, who was in such good spirits last night, really seems to have come with his boxing gloves on here. And Scott Seiver, of course, with the bagel, needs to make things happen. I do not think that he's going to try and neglect putting the Jungleman on tilt.
Put your cards side by side.
I mean, Koon, Rast, and Seiver, you know, because they're all 3 of them are playing the first 2 heats. Any one of those 3 goes out 7th or 8th in this heat.
Jungle might already have twice.
You know, they're all of a sudden going to be in a position where they basically have to win one of the last 2 heats.
Oh, I thought Vanessa just called. I see she raised. See, this is something where Phil, I think he probably didn't even want to open the 4s. Like, I mucked a couple like really small pairs early position, and so I'm pretty sure this is like his nightmare scenario.
The exact words.
Vanessa, who's aggressive and great player, is 3-betting him. He literally, I'm pretty sure he's gonna fold, but he actually might set mine, but he actually probably should at this level with the blinds, but like he's just gonna lose the hand every time unless he hits a 4. So it's like this is an important pot for him mentally. I feel like if he gets a 4 here, he's gonna. It's going to be big.
The exact words he said to me was, dude, I am so folding deuces through 6s under the gun because they just don't play well. And here he is, first chance, you know.
Yeah, he's never winning his pot. It's impossible.
Laak likes to open a lot of pots, but I think he's going to really have to adopt the sort of strategy where he's either going to start opening less or 4-betting more, because Vanessa is going to be on him like rash.
You know, again here, it's like Vanessa's actually, I'm surprised she didn't bet, but
she's actually played it quite clever, hasn't she? Because she's really going to be able now, she kept in all the hands that beat her on the flop, and she actually might get a street of value here. If she bets
yeah,
now.
this comes a low, a deuce or a pairs the board. Phil may actually lead out.
The worst thing he could do right now is make a blocking bet.
That's what he's gonna do.
Because she's good enough to actually.
Oh man. You know what? She's in
trouble, isn't he? He's bet quite small. I think she might be.
Seat 7 call.
Yeah, she called. She's not.
She wasn't going to raise there.
Right.
Actually, I think Phil's going to consider that a victory because she would have probably bet more on the river had he checked, don't you think?
Maybe, yeah, but here he is probably thinking, man, I know to play tight.
No,
and this is true. This is what I'm already in there, out of position with a low pair, and this is going to matter. You'll see, he's going to be fold. Even if he's going to fold, he's going to fold more than he was planning, I think. I will say Phil's one of the smartest people I've ever met, and you know he's definitely capable of executing his plan today. Oh my God! Oh wow! This is definitely deviating from the plan.
Fold.
This is officially deviating.
I could have, for example, free-rolled you.
You know, not only did he say about 6 times yesterday that he was going to play as tight as he'd ever played, but it was 5 minutes before this thing started. I wished him luck, and he told me how tight he was going to play.
I can't believe that. I can't.
He's already
this
played
is awesome.
the king deuce. The
Here
ball
he
is
is.
under the gun.
Here he is, oversuited. Oh, I mean, Duhamel's gonna. Oh wow, Duhamel just calls.
Nice.
Interesting.
I can see a lot of.
What do you know about Jonathan Duhamel?
Yeah, he's great. I mean, he's definitely one of the more respected players. I know in the Premier League I watched last year, he's got 3 bets, 4 bets, and he knows how to mix it up, and he's got a really good feeling. Here's Phil.
Wow.
Oh my God.
This is such a fold, isn't it?
I actually can't believe what I'm seeing. This is honestly. This is unbelievable. I just can't. This is like extra Phil Laak to like. This isn't even like. No, this is like above normal, and he's doing the opposite way he says, and he's just never winning this hand again.
Duhamel's going to stuff him here, right? I mean,
Duhamel's never folding, probably raising, but against Phil, he may think Phil has like 10s or jacks. He actually has almost too good a hand. Like if he gets an offsuit king or like, you know, I don't know. It's interesting. I'm not sure if he's trapping Phil or if he thinks he's drawing.
That raise Phil should have been doing with a minimum of a set, right? I mean, the raise that Laak made there, he either should have a set or a flush, pretty much.
This is like these are the worst spots ever when you're at like a televised table. You're doing something a little creative, and now it's just like he's lost in this. And now he's got 10 high, and Duhamel's got top.
If he wanted to get Duhamel off the hand, he had to barrel. He can't get him off on the river, can he? I mean,
he's not. He can't win the hand. He again. There's no line Phil's taking unless Duhamel bets and he shoves, and even then, I mean that might work actually. But Phil's just never, ever doing that.
Isn't that a problem, Jeff? I mean, if you want to run a bluff on this hand, you actually need to have the ace of diamonds in your hand. Like you can't really.
Oh my God, is Phil?
You can't run what can he represent here?
He's just folding.
Can't believe I'm folding this.
Fold.
Oh, Phil.
Duhamel.
This
What's
is
just
amazing.
Down to hammer. I can't believe I'm winning.
I just can't believe it. I just don't. The 10-8 open is psychotic to me for a tight strategy. That's just like the pair. Okay, I don't even hate how he played the pair because like.
Do you think he's told so many people that he was going to play tight that he thought, well,
I don't think he told anyone else he was going to play tight. I think he truly, genuinely wanted to do that and believes that. And now he could get in a spot now where his stack he's going to be short and he's going to have to, at some point, like if you're going to play tight, you want to stay around you want to hover around the 300, pick up a pot or two. And you can do that, but all of a sudden you deviate. Now I don't know what his stack is now. It's probably like 230 or okay. So Phil has.
He's the short stack. He's got
220. So that's a disaster start. So even if you want to play tight and the blinds go up, all of a sudden you fall down to that 170, 180, and you haven't played a hand now. It's really hard to get something going. So I'm rooting for Phil. I hope Phil turns around. To be honest though, he's getting these hands and sit and goes are the worst. When you get ace jack off, 7s, 8s, 9s, they're tough because they're hands you have to, like 7s you have to play, like you just have to. So but these are awkward spots, and now here Jason, who's plays essentially perfect post flop, has an amazing flop here, and it's going to be, again, really hard for Phil to win this hand.
I thought Jason's attitude was incredible. He got really unlucky yesterday, but he's come in here very optimistic. He still feels like he's got a great shot in this. He's really got a good poker philosophy in mind, isn't he? He's like,
yeah. Oh, he's great. Yeah, we went to the gym today, and he was, he was ready to go. Now, Phil's actually going to probably win this hand with this board run out.
So he's considering a value bet here, yeah.
Yeah, he's going to bet.
Seat 6 bet, 16,000.
And this might not be the easiest fold in the world for Jason, or because of the way he played the hand, you know.
Random.
So random, he said. That is kind of what Laak does best.
Right, yeah,
be
he
so
throws
random.
people off, but it looks like Jason's just thinking of calling. Looks like he's thinking of hero calling. He's thinking I might have the best hand. He might have King Jack with 1 diamond, King Queen. Yeah.
I kind of think you have to call there because Laak has been so erratic so far.
That's going to give Laak a little confidence. That's a huge hand for Laak. If Jason bets that flop, he's going to pick up this pot.
This season's Premier League has 7 familiar faces returning to the lineup.
Play bad, get lucky. Now I can maybe fold.
Let's just have a moment of silence, please, a moment of quiet.
If I thought that then, I gotta go with it.
I thought I was making a really good bet.
Look at how good I am.
You run so good.
I'm so good.
I love it. Sick. Sick.
The money flows free in Montreal.
Season 7 has 5 new faces making their debuts here at the Premier League.
I'm a sicko. I love the banter so much.
It's like unreal. This is like ridiculous.
You get all the tricks.
Gotta keep you guessing over there a little.
You brought the monkey out of me because you're such a monkey.
Punishing poker gods for this call, because I don't know if it's right.
Nowhere to breathe, nowhere to hide, no room here. Playground Poker Club outside of Montreal. Duhamel, of course, the big hand against Laak. He's the chip leader. And Jason Koon, Phil Laak trailing. Basically, even though Scott Seiver has kept up the banter game, he's yet to move a chip, and neither has our defending champion, Dan Shak.
I'm really, I'm curious with Rast. I think this is his first time in Premier League. He's probably one of the smartest, brightest, poker players there is. He's a great high stakes cash player. He's incredible player. But I actually had a feeling he might struggle with the format just because it is sit and goes, and he loves playing hands. So like I noticed yesterday he was caught in some weird spots. I think Rast is honestly one of the best players in the world, but in this format I don't know. I'm just curious if he adjusts or not.
I think you got it right, because I think like Scott Seiver, he knows how to adjust. He knows exactly what he's supposed to do now, and I think you're right. Rast might rebel against it in a sense because it doesn't fit his natural style of how to play.
Rast loves playing post flop. I think this kind of format, it's a little, you don't want to be doing that too much.
Absolutely. By the way, Phil Laak could lose some chips here.
Seat 7 bet 15,000.
Horrible flop for him, and a worse turn.
And against Vanessa.
Yeah, blind on blind. And he's going to have a real problem. Not now, but if he calls this bet, the river is a problem. Because, the river...
I mean, Phil
could be 60,000.
Phil's getting some bad spots. He wants a club or something to slow this down. It's like a... I mean, that actually might slow the action down a little. She's going to value him, though.
She is. She's too tough to check.
She's too good. She knows Phil's probably not checking.
Who shows first here?
Oh, okay.
Wow, she did check. And...
I'm surprised she checked, but
when
I think
she sees his hand, she's going to feel like she let something get away there.
I think it's fine. I'd probably check back there, but I mean, some players would go for value. Obviously, that card wasn't. It was a medium card. I think if it's like a king or any queen that's offsuit club, she's going to get some big value there. So I think Phil got bailed out a little, and she just didn't want to get check raised. So yeah, he's got to feel actually okay about that. That could have been way worse.
feel like Phil Laak would know the answer to this. Phil, why when someone yawns do other people yawn?
Dan Shak, this is a guy who I've actually never played a hand with. Played a lot of same tournaments, high rollers. We've never got matched up. I feel like he gets. He has great results, so I don't know. I can't I hear people say
it's a mystery. Everyone's always like, how does he do it?
But like
he sits in there,
you know what?
He plays solid poker.
Here it is. Like these are the kind of things. Like he's not getting the ace jacks, the ace queens. Like when I see him in pots, he's got like suited jack tens. He has pot. You know, he's hitting sets. He has ace kings. He has kings. Like he gets big hands, and people
3-bet him.
Yeah,
Duhamel 3-bet him here with the ace 3.
Oh man, this is great. This is just fun to watch. So this is is he just gonna call? I think he should 4-bet here, but I don't.
I think it's more in his style to push his big hands.
Yeah. Especially he knows Duhamel's aggressive. He is aware of how Duhamel plays.
Yeah.
I'm actually very interested to see what Duhamel does here because he's
not just a 3-better. Duhamel's a 5-better.
He's got that next gear in him. Yeah. You know, a lot of guys the 4-bet is like the brink, but he's capable. But he also knows that he knows Dan is not gonna likely be light here, right?
Reigning champion Dan Shak takes down his first pot of season 7 as he looks to defend his title.
I'm Dan Shak. I'm a part-time poker player, full-time businessman. Obviously, an event like this, I'm going to put the poker in front of work. Most of the time, I put work in front of poker. In 2010 in Australia, I was able to get heads up with Phil Ivey and the high roller there and managed to come out ahead. What more confidence can you possibly get in poker than, you know, winning a tournament where you're facing Phil Ivey heads up? I think by far the toughest tournament I've ever played in was the last Premier League. No pro has gone back-to-back in the Premier League. So for an amateur to be able to go back-to-back, you know, other than winning the main event of the World Series, I think there could be no achievement that I would want more than that.
Who were the people when you saw what the lineup was that you thought, okay, these guys are going to be really tough? Anyone at this table that you thought, hey, you know, that's going to be a player that's going to do really well in this format?
I mean, that's the thing. There really are no players I'm like, oh, I want to play with them.
Spots.
But Vanessa Selbst is, I think, the wild card because I think she's one of the most talented. But I'm a little surprised a couple of her plays so far, and I just don't. She's not really. This is like a sit and go stuff again. So I don't know if she can make the adjustment. She's super smart, and I think she's capable. Can we just pause for 1 second? Is this really happening? I mean, this is definitely not the plan. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if he just like whatever. I mean, it's just this is unbelievable. This is like something I would never do. He should never do. I just
Isn't one of your favorite things about Phil Laak his capability to surprise?
Yes.
I mean, no matter what you expect, he just never produces what you expect. He can, you know.
Oh wow, he has the flush draw here. Oh man, top two. Oh, the only better card than the 9 of clubs instead of the 7, and this is about as much action as you can get.
And I guess the real question is
seat 7 check.
Well, I was going to say is how fast Seiver wants to play it.
Oh boy. Okay. Well,
because Seiver might have fast played that on the flop, you know, check raised and tried to get some money in.
I love this. I love the bet. I love Vanessa's hand. Vanessa's probably going to peel. With this board, Phil's in there peeling, drawing dead.
He's in big trouble here.
Yeah, a lot of times when it checks around and the first person to bet the turn is usually bluff, just has nothing. So I think Phil's going with that train of thought here, and he's thinking, I can get an 8 to fold. I have overs if they had like 8, 9 and calls. I mean, this is catastrophe. Scott, I have a feeling Scott will call and check into the very ever so slight head shake.
He's brilliant.
He knows Phil is a live pro. Phil's watching him out of the corner of his eye. The very subtle thing. He's not raising, he's calling.
Now, in Seiver's mind, it's really hard for Laak not to be drawing dead here because how can Phil have an ace here? I mean, would Phil have checked an ace 3 ways on the flop?
You just called, right?
Yeah.
You know
what I'm saying? I mean,
he knows where he's at.
Right.
He knows where he's at.
He knows Laak's drawing dead.
He knows Phil probably doesn't have an ace. Like 90% of the time.
ace.
Oh, God.
No.
If Seiver,
Oh my gosh! Vanessa would have made the full house.
Yep, she's killing herself right now. She literally wants to go jump, but she's going to be so happy because this will be shown. If he he's going to lead. So I don't think he thinks he has a flush because he wouldn't think Phil would check that back. So he's going to lead and he's going to get called.
So he actually thinks that Laak might have been making sort of a blocking raise with like tens or jacks, trying to get to a cheap showdown.
Phil's just calling here. He's not raising. The board's paired. He has a second nut flush. Phil thinks he miracled the river here, and he's going to be very upset. This is a nightmare. Vanessa is the happiest person in Montreal right now. Look at her.
What a cooler! What a cooler! It's almost like performance art. Scott Seiver, of course, what a huge spot for him. He bageled heat number 1. He needed a good showing here. He's now chip leader. More from Premier League Season 7 after the break.
When you're in the tank, you can't hide. That's the problem.
Thanks for calling, buddy.
I had a jungle kind of hand.
Jungle, it's on you.
You know how much I like to call.
What did you do yesterday? I'm bluffed. Okay.
I always level myself against you.
Sometimes I'm not even sure what I'm doing, kid. I look into my soul, I can't even find it. I'm like, what am I doing?
Welcome back. This is the Playground Poker Club in Montreal, where we still have a full table of 8 for Heat 2. It's all about winning points here at the Premier League, and everyone wants to get off to the best start possible with the maximum 14 points. Let's get back to our commentary team led by Jesse May.
I actually, I was predicting that Vanessa was going to do very well in this Premier League because I just feel like she's almost come here with a job to do. In her mind, you know, she's here to do well in the Premier League, and that's all there is to it.
Yep, for sure. No, she's one of the players I would have my money on to do very well.
Oh wow.
Here we go, Shak, like aces, no problem, man. Someone else has a hand. And again, I'm not discrediting his game at all. I don't really know much about him. I've watched a little. The times, like the blogs or the hands that I've seen,
raised 20,000.
he's been pretty fortunate in these kind of spots. But with that being said, there's no question he's doing something right. He knows what he's doing. He has good intuition, and it's not like a fish by any means.
He always seems to man up. I agree with you completely.
At the same time, if you were going to take this format, like these 12 players, you know, if you had to rank he's probably.
Well, look, he's the guy who's not the professional poker player, and yet he has results like a professional poker player.
And he's the defending champion in this format, so you got to give him credit.
I Seiver thought about that. I wonder if he considered passing. He certainly is going to give Shak credit, and Shak's in trouble, in big trouble, because Jungleman made a very loose call,
and he's got the ace of hearts here. This is probably going to get in. Depending if Jungle slow plays or not.
I mean, one of the hallmarks to Shak's game is that, from what I've seen, is that he's not a guy to make big folds. You know,
wow.
He gets the aces.
He bet 2/3 pot here.
Yeah.
Jungle. This is interesting. The sick part is that if Jungle raises, Dan's just never folding.
I'm all in.
Yep, he's calling.
Sorry?
He's going all in.
He's calling.
He's going all in.
All in
King
call.
9.
He can't believe it. Now here's where we really get to see Dan Shak. Does he peel the old? Does he get the 3-ball? Does he get the ace? It's going to be a heart, right? At least a heart. Give him the world.
Thanks for calling, buddy.
I had a huge pair.
What huge pair?
There's a lot of bad cards. Oh my God! What did I say?
You were so.
It's just
you know how to sweat these things in.
It's just like seen this show before. Dan knows. That was one of those.
So hard.
Ace, 8 or an ace.
Oh,
sorry,
the Shak magic might be on. Wow, he feels sick. You can see he's visibly.
I didn't want to bust you, Dan. I wanted to bust Seiver.
Now you can.
Now you can.
Oh man, he doesn't. It's like he's never had this happen. Almost.
It really hurts. And I mean, this really throws the Premier League wide open, Jeff, because of course, great news for Koon, for Rast, for Seiver. They needed someone else to get the bagel. Now it's happened, and a quick day for the first heat for Dan Shak. He can come back, but of course, it's gonna be very difficult.
It's pretty sick, yeah.
Obviously, it puts a little pressure on when you get no points the first round, but I can't even say whether I played well or not because I didn't play too many hands. But I'm still confident, and now just have to come back stronger.
Every one of these players at the table, aside from Laak, of course, is going to be fairly satisfied with how things have started out.
Way above my average.
From a strategy for me, I'm trying to think who I'd ideally want to win. Maybe Seiver, right? So that he'd have 14 through 2. I don't know. I guess it depends how to look at it, but I don't know. I mean, if some of these guys that had 0, 1, and 3 get 0, 1, and 3 again, I mean, they're going to be in really bad shape. But
have you had 100%?
There's no easy rides.
Here he is again with the ace-5 off. I can't. Okay, there we go. He knew. He just decided I can't do it anymore. I'm gonna. And he would have been in a bad spot again.
It is hugely entertaining, though, isn't it?
Amazing.
And I mean, you know, the fact is, really, even Dan, Shak, no matter what happens here, nobody's out of it now. It just may make it a little harder, a little easier for them. Yep. But anything can be overcome at this stage.
It is a lot of fun. This is a very interesting format.
C2 re-raise, 33,000.
And what do you think the idea is behind this 3-bet? I mean, what are the dynamics for it? I mean, she's just not the ideal candidate to start getting into a raising war with, is she?
He knows that she's going to be opening a lot, and I think that this is going to be interesting. I think she's going to opt to call.
Beat 7 call.
I feel like Seiver's out on a bit of a limb here. But,
oh wow!
But it's going to work perfect.
Pretty nice setup he has.
Got himself in a great spot right now. Why is he checked?
I think he's got her on a pretty. He's got her on a range 7s through 10s. I think he thinks he has.
He knows that it looks like Ace-King when he checks here. I mean, he's really sowed. It's really tough to put him on a queen right now. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, I think in Vanessa's mind, I mean, she knows what he's capable of, but like unless he has Ace-Queen, there's not a lot of other queens that she thinks he's probably 3-betting with. I like how he's playing this.
Yeah, he's managed to, you know, he's going to get her to walk the dog, really.
Vanessa, by betting there, she's going to earn the check here. She's probably going to check back and get that free river, and if it's an 8, she can get paid, and if not, she's probably not going to lose too much. Yeah, she's going to earn that free card on the river. She made that set of 9s in the river last time. She didn't stick around, and here it's not going to get there. So now here he has to decide, is he going to go for value?
It's a pretty big pot, 125,000. I mean, he could make a large range of bet sizes here.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, he could go fairly big. I think he knows where he's at right now, and I think he also is aware what she thinks he has. I think they both know where they are, kind of. So it's like this should just end it. Yeah, he went for half pot.
Right, it's not great news for her calling here, by the way, because you know, she wants to stay ahead of the pack. She wants to stay, you know, keep her chips. I think if she calls and loses here, she'll probably be down to about 200K.
She's not raised, obviously. She won't raise at this point. She's got to like call her full face, and I think it's really close. I think it's 50-50. I don't even know.
Sorry, I need a second.
Yeah, she's like spinning a coin in her head.
Yeah, and I mean, like, if it does look like a very 50-50 situation, bringing the tactics into it, she could be saying to herself, Jeff, that listen, Scott
knows. How much I like to call.
Right.
Huh. A lot of times, I feel like when people talk like this, though, they end up calling. They like, no, it's not like necessarily good. They want to make the call.
She says, I've got a reputation as a calling station, and you know it.
Yeah, she's gonna call it though. Call. Yeah, she's gonna hate it.
Nice hand.
Yeah.
Should always level myself against you. That's what it looked like you had.
She said it just looked too much like that, and so
that's
I thought
you
couldn't be that straightforward.
Like it's very.
Yeah. And
that was a very well played hand by Scott.
I mean, he's got maximum out of her. He really took it to her, and she's frustrated with herself right now, isn't she?
And yeah, and you know what? Again, that's a spot where the board, everything worked out perfect. Like the board, turn card, stone brick, and it pairs the board, and then no king or ace came out. It wasn't really that scary of a board, so it kind of it played out. He orchestrated the hand very well, and he got a great board.
And the big side, Jeff, from Vanessa, because right now she has to change her game. Look, Scott's in great shape. That was huge for him. And you actually got to admire Scott there, because he kind of engineered that pot in such a way where he was never going to lose a lot of chips, but he managed to win a whole bunch of them, if you know what I mean.
Okay, so Vanessa opens ace jack. Again, one of those middle-y hands that are like kind of have to open.
And how different is it for her, Jeff? I mean, she's open. She's got like 237,000 now. Opening that hand with 300.
Duhamel's gonna just call. This is too much value. This is a perfect spot for a pair to get in there and try to hit a set. Now this is an interesting.
There's 37,000 to pick up in there. Do you think he might? Do you think he might?
I think he's gonna have to call, which I don't like really, but I don't hate. I mean, he could. This is a good spot to ship it all in. Like Vanessa's opening wide. Like unless she has ace king, like if she calls with a pair or something, and he's just gonna win.
Go on, Phil Laak.
I love that. That's super strong. It looks stronger than shipping. There's a lot in there, and he's sort of committing himself. How much? 51 of his 140, but he actually would fold, I think, to a ship.
No one is expecting him to have king queen here, are they?
No, and it's a great play. This is my favorite play of the day.
Fold.
But that was the nicest hand so far. I really like that.
What he does, he collects.
Plus 33K. Phil hops up 172. He's now in the mix.
Sometimes I'm not even sure what I'm doing, kid. I look into my soul and I can't even find it. I'm like, what am I doing?
Don't try this at home. Look at Phil Laak's chip movement. It's been up. It's like a cardiogram. And, of course, the 39% V chip, he's been out there. Time to hear from the infamous and entertaining Phil Laak.
My name is Phil Laak, and sometimes they call me the Unabomber. And that's my intro. Poker is an exceptionally excellent game because the rules are very simple. Everyone knows the rules. And now it's psychological and mathematical warfare. It's like a blend. I've done 4 Premier Leagues, and over time the format's morphed and changed a little bit. I love the 21 hands, the blinds go up. I love the 8-handed, I love the point system. And this year, I really love how they're mixing up the players. You get like a lot of whoosh, whoosh. So like when you make pancakes, you want to mix the batter to get a good pancake. So I think we're going to get a better pancake here. We're mixing the batter, you know? I expect to have a good time. I expect to do my best, and I won't be surprised if I make some blunders along the way.
After the break, we return to the Playground Poker Club here in Montreal for more action from the Party Poker Premier League.
That is what I'm talking about. I'm the worst.
No idea what in the world's going on here.
Having fun. Is that what you call having fun?
I'm gonna punish you. I promise.
Oh! Shit. And the monkey at the back. I waited, I trapped him, I checked behind, I 3-bet, I did everything right. And if it's a jack or a 10, something's getting broken. I'm ready to die. You're not ready to die. No.
Turn an ace to end this race, yo.
Yeah! Yeah! Yeah!
David Benjamin is the Premier League champion.
Let's get back to the table with your commentators Jesse May and Jeff Gross.
Seiver's got a nice game going here today. He's got to be feeling really good, and I don't know if Daniel's even paying attention at this point. He's just hanging out. He's happy, I think, with his stack, obviously.
One of the themes, I think, of heat number 1, Jeff, was that the Jungleman never failed to defend his big blind. It's amazing how often he defends there, and he's in the big blind now. I mean, he just doesn't fold to a raise from the big blind, does he?
Uh-oh, let's see, Phil. This is honestly, this doesn't get old.
This is kind of like close your eyes.
This is comical to me.
This is comedy.
This is comedy. I honestly, I told myself, just because he ripped me yesterday for being tight, no matter what Phil does, I'm not, I'm gonna give my honest opinion, and I hate what's going on. We're all friends, and he's got heart. He has heart. Let's go with the positive. Phil's got heart.
9,000 to call.
Squeeze one card and hope I can just knock without doing any part of the hand. Just show me like 4 or 5.
She just call?
6-7 call.
Okay. Yeah. And
I don't
her
love
idea
that.
is that maybe she can, it's not just set mining Phil, but that she might get some callers behind. Is that the idea?
I think she's hoping to get position and just be heads up with Phil here. I don't know. I mean, yeah, obviously if it goes 3-4 ways, she's then going to only try to hit that. If it's just him and her heads up, she's going to plan to win the pot. She's going to try to win the pot other ways. So actually her hand here, so now all of a sudden, where was Rast on the button?
Yeah, he is.
No, is he in
and Jungleman, obviously.
Oh, he's in the button. So Rast calling super wide. Oh, man. I just want to go shake Phil. I literally want to go and say, what are you doing? Is this real right now? Like, I just want to know what he's thinking.
You know, he just marches to his own tune. And, you know, he has never failed to do well in the Premier League. I believe he's made the final table every season he's played except for last season when he just missed out.
Man,
barely.
Here, Rast flatting the 8-9. I think that shows his confidence in his game, that he's got position. He has a very weak hand, middling hand, and he thinks he's gonna be able to outplay people, and that's what he's doing. He's sticking with his going to the flop strategy, even though it hasn't been going well. And you see, that's a nice. That's not a very good flop, but it's a pretty good flop for his hand. And sure enough, he picks it up. And Phil with the 7 high. You know, I just don't know.
That's something you don't see every day. It was the 3 shortest stacks at the table in the pot.
You can't hide.
For sure.
You just go to battle with your tank all the time. So sometimes, you know, even a tank guy wants to go into the woods with his tank.
But he can. A
little bit.
Things aren't going well. You just want to chill for a while. See, Jungle's in a tank. Everyone sees him right here.
He's in tank mode.
This is a hand that Duhamel is going to want to play probably against Jungleman in position.
Let's see some well-timed arrows.
Seat 5 re-raise 26,000.
The mightiest of hammers. The tank.
It'll be interesting to see how Jungleman decides to play this. He has a lot of chips.
Very interesting. He's not folding.
Wow, is Vanessa?
She's thinking that this is but you see that's a difference too. She's thinking consciously, like she has a queen-8 off, but to her that's a spot. It's not, oh, I have queen-8 off. So like she was really seriously considering 4-betting. She was maybe thinking of 4-bet jamming.
I mean, she's got a history for it. Yeah. When she sits there and thinks about 4-bet jamming, you know she's really considering it.
So what did he just called, right?
Yeah, he peeled.
Yep. And that's the problem with peeling. With the ace queen, such a plays so terribly. And now he's checking to see if he has a diamond. And Duhamel just outflops him in his position, and this is going to be.
I'm going to lock up 6th place after this hand.
Very fortunate little thing for Duhamel. It would have been interesting if it came like 8 high or 9 high or all rags, how this would go. I think this this board Jungleman's not going to like, but he may continue for one.
Duhamel surprised a lot of people last season. I mean, he just played so well in the Premier League. The final table didn't go so well. Wow, that was
3 out. What a card.
Bam.
Now, Jungleman, though, is going to be a little cautious here. I think he thinks, you know, that's a nice card for him, obviously, but he's going to be a little cautious.
And Duhamel has got a big enough hand to sort of check behind, right? I mean, he knows that card.
Yeah, it's obviously like one of the 2 or 3 just worst cards in the deck. All right.
Duhamel's probably feeling pretty unlucky here because he wins the pot if they both miss, for sure.
He's going to check, I think. He's not valued betting this.
C5 check.
I just lay the tarpon. They never fall into it.
Ace 10.
Ace queen.
You wouldn't.
You check back jacks on a cue.
Kings. No, ace jack. Ace jack.
Ace jack, he says.
No, that's just too obvious. that just makes me very confident in my check.
You sure that if you bet a river, I'm going to fold?
That's true, yeah.
Okay.
That's the thing about checking, right? If you have jacks, you're obviously not going to fold, but if you have jacks, I get to check raise, and now you're like, what the
Jungle,
fuck?
it's on you.
Seiver just loves getting them. Like, whenever he can, like, he wouldn't say that to anyone else.
If it was on you, how do you fold? You would fold, because you realize this big blind, there's power emanating from behind.
A lot of power.
I probably
shouldn't have taught this much.
Oh, no.
Okay. Phil's officially gone. This is official. This is actually officially.
Hold it. You're saying that in the first 41 hands you didn't know yet that he'd lost the flop?
I knew,
it took
but this is
for you to know he'd lost the flop?
No, but this is official. This is like a statement. This is like, all right,
I've lost the flop.
100%.
I've lost the flop.
And look at Rasty. Rasty is singled them out. They're very good friends, and Rasty just wants to play pots with Phil.
How many more hands do we have?
I know you've
9-10
lost
off,
the pot,
defending.
We have 2 hands?
Is it possible that Phil really wants everyone to sort of, because he knows that later on they'll be checking the updates and that he's going to have this image for the next 3 heats? They'll know how crazy he was? Is that even remotely possible?
I don't think so. I just think he's gone a little bananas.
He's in a spot right now where
This is a
this is a
spot.
big pot. He's in a bit of trouble. He actually needs to, did that card save him?
Oh,
Can he
man,
now
Rast
barrel
has
his way out of it?
No, Rast has the 9 high diamonds. He knows Phil. He probably thinks he knows Phil would check back an ace here.
Right.
I think Phil would check an ace because he'd pot control, whatever. He bets he's bluffing, and I think Rast will sniff it out, and he's gonna bluff.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. This doesn't.
That looks
now it can't be an ace.
I think Rast is gonna play.
Wow. And Brian Rast.
And by play, it might be raised. By the way,
He is good enough. He is good enough to make this move.
He folded. Wow. He wanted it. His instincts were there.
I mean, I had a jungle kind of hand. From the beginning, all I could think of was, this is a jungle.
Look at he knows. Everyone
Not
knew.
for sure bluffing.
Rast knew.
You're probably bluffing.
Well, okay, what did you do yesterday on bluffs?
Huh?
What did you do yesterday on bluffs? Okay.
What a start to Heat 2. Phil Laak has been the most active, but despite the entertainment, he's the short stack. Jungleman and Scott Seiver are the chip leaders, winning the big pots, but with the blind still low, Brian Rast, Vanessa, Selbst, Jonathan Duhamel, and Jason Koon still have time to ladder up.
Phil did commentary for Heat 1, and you said kind of over and over again that maybe Tight was right. Maybe you should really be, playing only premium hands. And then we watched you come in here, and that is not what you're doing.
Well, the cherry bomber sometimes gets a hold of me, and it's a constant battle. And right now, he's sort of got the reins. Trust me, I'm trying to pull him in. I know it's right to pull him in, but right now he's gotten loose. I don't know.
Do you think it might affect the way people play against you in future heats? If they go back and they watch or read some of these updates?
I don't know. It's so circular. I guess they're all going to find out that I had that junk can here and there, huh?
Here and there.
Well, that's the nature of poker, Eventually it gets found out. Whatever. Let's gamble,
Next time here in Montreal, Canada, Heat 2 continues with more explosive action here at the Party Poker Premier League 7.
Yes, I won one versus Phil. Not Tupperware tight. We're talking, Ziploc bag inside of Tupperware.
You can't stop the jungle. And that's really next level collusion right there.
Sorry, buddy. Made for TV. Just made for TV.